All right, how's it going? I guess we're live. My first time doing this, so thank you for joining me if you have. Kind of new at it, so we'll give it a go and hopefully don't stammer through it too much. So, anyhow, for those who don't know, I'm a member of a networking community, and there's a lot of young guys. Hang on a second, what have I got going on here? For some reason, my stupid phone connected and started playing me in the background. So get rid of an echo, get rid of it. So anyhow, like I said, I'm a member of a networking community, and there's a lot of young guys in there. They keep coming and asking me for advice, so figured it's time to start a channel and talk to the guys. But I guess in order to give advice to men, we kind of need to define what is a man, so we have an idea where we're coming from to start with. So today's modern age, it's pretty tough for a young guy to be a man, because the definition is pretty bad with all of the isms and everything else like that. The share your feelings and don't be hard and blah blah blah. Guy doesn't know where he's supposed to be, what he's supposed to be. So we kind of need to define it. I had a poor example for in the beginning for a dad. I had a good childhood, but my dad wasn't a great dad, so I had to figure a lot of it out on my own. Left home pretty early. Figure some stuff out on my own. Was pretty close with my grandpa. He was probably the greatest man I ever knew. So I kind of looked to him for a lot of advice and guidance, and figured some stuff out from him. And had an uncle who was a pretty good businessman. He tried teaching me some things, but I was young and stupid and knew everything, so I didn't pay a ton of attention. So I kind of had to learn a bunch on my own. And so maybe I can help some of you take a shortcut, not make some of the mistakes that I made. So we'll run through some of those, because I've made a few. Got to put these on to read. So, like I said, I left home at an early age and started driving trucks so I could go see the world. And thought I loved my job because I was traveling around, got to see things, do different things, got to see the world, so to speak, got paid to do it. Thought I loved my job. As I got older, I kind of realized that really all I was doing was running away from my problems. So I ran away from my problems for like 30 years. It's a long time to be running. Every time I turned around and stopped, they were right there. So it took a while to figure that out, work through them. Made a lot of mistakes along the way, and learned a lot, an awful lot. So just some good advice for you guys. Learn from others' mistakes, because you can't live long enough to make them all yourself. So it's a lot easier to learn from others. So anyhow, most of my knowledge kind of came together basically about the time that my grandpa died. We had a pretty good conversation when he was on his deathbed, and a lot of things sort of clicked and made sense. Realized then that he'd actually taught me a lot, and I knew a lot more than I thought I did. I just hadn't put it together yet. So he kind of gave me the pat on the shoulder and said, "Here you go, kid. You got to figure it out. Go do it." So that's exactly what I did. About that time was when I got divorced and left and had to start over. Starting over is fun when you're older. Not. But the difference is, when you start over when you're older, is you're not starting over. Because you're starting with experience, with knowledge, with skills. So it's a big shortcut. So don't be scared of starting over later in life, but try to learn it early if you can, because it's a lot easier. So get your crap together and figure things out. So a good thing to keep in mind is friends. There's a very common saying that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're hanging around with losers, you're going to be one. So stop. That's probably some of the best advice anybody could ever get as a young guy. You know, it's tough, because as a young guy, most of your friends are losers. So it's just the way it is. So find the guys that aren't and hang around with them. If you can't find any, then be by yourself. part of being a man is learning to be alone and learning to deal with things on your own. Um, Developing the skills to handle that and to deal with things. They'll get you a long way. They'll sort a lot of stuff out. Um, Being alone doesn't necessarily mean you have to be lonely. When you do have a good friend you can talk to, well, that'll cure that. Like I said, I spent 30 years away from home, 2,000 miles away from my friends. Pick up the phone and give them a call, have a good conversation, and I wasn't lonely anymore. Or another good one is get a dog. They'll love you unconditionally. So great companions to have. Nice part is they don't talk back. So anyhow, like I said, I became a member of a networking community, and I get a lot of young guys asking me for advice all the time. Kind of wondered why. And I realized that, all right, it was the knowledge that I had, and I just needed to put it together and, enjoy sharing it, which I do. It's great to interact with the young guys and help them out. Makes you feel pretty good. So don't be scared if you're a young guy to find somebody who's a little bit older that is willing to teach you some things, and pay attention, because they're going to show you a lot of shortcuts. They're going to save you a lot of pain and suffering. Learn from their mistakes, because trust me, they're older than you. They've made a few. It's just the way it is. So yeah, like I said, it took a while for me to realize that I had a lot of good advice and good information to offer. So it's kind of why I started this. So I guess we'll get into what are the qualities that make a good man. I kind of learned this from my grandpa. So the number one quality for a man, first of all, is integrity. You have to have it. If you don't have integrity, nobody's going to respect you, and you're not going to get anywhere. So your integrity it's the backbone of who you are. It's the foundation of what you are. You set your integrity right in the first place, and the right people will gravitate towards you. And the wrong people you'll be able to figure them out, or they'll just leave, because they'll realize with your integrity that they're not going to be able to take advantage of you. So very important one. So, and with that comes respect. When you have a lot of integrity and you say what you mean and mean what you say, people respect that, and respect will get you a long way. Help get you through problems, help you deal with a lot of things. I mean, dealing with everything in life, your friends, your family, your relationships, business. If you want to go into business or a job, having respect is going to get you noticed, get you, help you get promotions and stuff like that. So just something to keep in mind, and showing respect to those that deserve it. When people have earned respect, make sure you show it to them, because it's a hard thing to earn, and you're going to learn that as you go, because you're going to want it. So when you're not getting it, you'll realize that, geez, I maybe should have respected those people when I was younger, because they kind of knew a lot, and yeah, screwed up on that one. I made that mistake a lot when I was younger. So another good one is for another quality for a man is to find your purpose. Sometimes it takes a little while, but we all have one. You just got to figure out what it is and go work at it. Your purpose can be, your job, your career, or it can be a hobby. Might be something you don't make a lot of money at, but it's something that you work at on your side time or whatever, and pour yourself into. And it's a good thing to have. With that purpose is going to come goals. And goals, having purpose and having goals is going to give you motivation. And motivation is exactly what you need to get yourself out of bed every morning and go. Because as a man, nobody's coming to save you. It's the reality of the world. I hate to tell you, but the bailout plans ain't coming for you. Sorry. So get your butt out of bed, go to work, figure something out, make some money, provide for yourself. Motivation. Having purpose and having goals will get your ass moving, so you can go earn some things and get the stuff that you want, get the respect you want, and everything else in life. Naturally, your toys, place of your own to live, money to have fun with, go on vacations, go dates, whatever you want to do. So, and with that becomes self-reliance. So when you have your purpose and your goals and you're motivated, you get out, you're taking care of things, and doing shit for yourself in the world, you're self-reliant. You don't need to rely on other people for things. And it's just a better way to be, better life to have. So with self-reliance, you want to learn some skills, whatever that is. Yeah, you're exactly right, Steph. 100% right. No one cares about men's struggles. Nobody's coming to save you. So find your motivation, get your ass out of bed and go and do something, because nobody's coming for you. So unless you're in the military and, you're a band of brothers or something like that, where the guys stick together, you're pretty much on your own. So anyhow, that leads to self-reliance. Learn some skills, whatever that is, and learn a multitude of skills. If you can only do one thing, you're not going to be able to get through life very easy, because there's always going to be problems, no matter what it is. So, learn to fix some things. Take some stuff apart. Watch some YouTube channels. Lots of guys taking stuff apart, fixing it, putting it back together. You can learn pretty much anything you want on here. How to repair a car, fix stuff around your house, leaky faucets, fix some drywall, whatever the case may be. Having the skills to be able to take care of things like that is going to get you a long way. They're going to save you a bunch of money. It's just good skills to have. Learn some new ones if you don't have a lot, or constantly be learning new ones, because you can never have enough skills. Having skills to do all kinds of different things, it just makes you a very self-reliant person, and a very handy person. You'll find that people are going to want to be your friends because you can do things, and you'll be able to help them out. And then because of that, then they'll be able to help you out with their skills, and everybody gets ahead that way. So, and part of self-reliance is sacrifice. So you got to take care of yourself. Like we said, nobody's coming to save you. Like Steph said, nobody cares about men's problems. So, if you're not making enough money, then you got to get a second job. You got to start doing something else, pick up the slack, take care of yourself, do what you got to do. That's what men do. You sacrifice. So that's just how it is. You have to sacrifice to get ahead. That's part of your motivation, get going. So another thing to take care of is self-prioritize. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you're going to the gym, exercising, working out, doing something active. Don't just sit around and play video games. Like get out and go for a walk, do something, go hike, climb a mountain. I do that a lot. So my recorded videos, you're going to see an awful lot of scenery. I live 2.5 hours from the mountains, so I go ride motorcycles and go hiking on the weekends. And just last weekend, I hiked up the top of the mountain and, sat on a glacier and had a glass of wine. So good exercise. Helps you look better, feel better, and solve a lot of problems. Gives you time to think. Having time to think will help you get through a lot of things. You'll discover you can solve your own problems a lot of the times. So, take care of yourself. A quality man does that, takes care of himself. You shower regularly, you shave, you take care of yourself, clean up, go to the gym, all that kind of stuff. And take care of yourself with your health too. Don't be scared to go to a doctor. Trust me. I made that mistake more than once. Found some stuff out a little bit too late and had to deal with things the hard way. Don't do that. Having to rush yourself to the emergency room because you can't even stand up because you're in pain too much. Don't do that. Go before it gets to that point. You're not that big of a man. We're all human. We all break down inside and we all need help every now and then. So that's what it's for. Go and take care of it. So that comes back to my point of, with the self-reliance and whatnot, is being comfortable being alone. Being alone is a good skill to have. It's actually a skill. When you can learn how to just be by yourself and be comfortable with it, time to meditate, time to think, read a book, learn something, relax, unwind. There's nothing better than being alone, sitting up on top of a mountain, smoking a cigar, having a glass of wine, something like that, relaxing. Nothing but the birds chirping in the background, sound of the waterfall. It's being alone sometimes is pretty damn good. So it's not that bad. With self-reliance as well, other things. Learn how to do some stuff to take care of yourself. You know, can you, can you get out on your own and survive a little bit for a couple of days in the wilderness or something like that? You should, because crap can go wrong at any time. We all know that. So having a way to take care of yourself or something like that is a good skill to have. So let's lead into consistency. When you're on your purpose and you're working at it every day and you've got your goals and you're working hard to achieve them and you achieve them, you set a new one and you work towards that one. This consistency is going to give you more and more payback over time. Consistency kind of results like compound interest. The more consistent you are at something over the long term, the more you're going to accomplish. And it will be a snowball effect. You'll be better at staying focused on your goals, better at staying focused on your purpose. You'll become better at taking care of yourself, going to the gym, working out, you become stronger, you'll look better, you'll feel better, all of that stuff. Consistency is a good quality to have for sure. So another one is, you're a man. Be a master of your emotions. Men think logically. So if you can't think logically first and you react to everything and fly off the handle without thinking, your emotions are taking control of you. And in the heat of battle, whatever that may be in life, if you can't control that, you're going to get defeated, no matter what it is. So be able to take control of that. So your emotions should not be in charge of you. You should be in charge of them. So that doesn't mean you shouldn't have any. It just means that if you feel yourself reacting before you've actually thought, then take a second, breathe, just figure it out. Sit for a moment, let that pass, and then start to deal with the problem logically. Think it through. Because when you handle it with the instant reaction and the emotion, you're probably going to do it wrong. You're almost always going to do it wrong. So just stop and think it through. Deal with it logically. Break it down. Take the big problem that it is, break it down into its little pieces. Find out which one's most important and deal with that first. Deal with the next one. As you deal with things, it doesn't matter how big the problem is. When you break it down into the little ones, it's simple. You can manage it. That's the way you go. The old saying goes, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You can't finish it on your first bite. So you got to take the first, and then the second, and then the third. Kind of like me starting this channel. This is my first video. Probably going to suck. I'll get better as I go, but you got to start somewhere. This is my start. So first step. Next step, it's going to be better. All right. So with that, we all have emotions. So just don't allow them to control you. Your mind should be in charge. You should be able to think it through. If you need to stop, think for a minute and tell somebody, I need a minute to think about this. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with taking a minute and figuring it out. It's okay. In fact, it's probably the honorable thing to do. So, with all of the above, this is going to make you a responsible man. A responsible man is one that people respect. You take care of yourself, all those sorts of things. Leads to what, for me personally, this is my biggest one. The biggest thing with all of it, you can add responsibility, consistency, integrity, the whole 9 yards. To me, the biggest thing is accountability. Personally, that is my biggest trait, my biggest thing. Be accountable for your actions. We're all human. We all make mistakes every single day. Doesn't matter who you're dealing with, they're going to make them. It means they know you're going to make them too. It's all right. Stand up and say, okay, I did that and I did that wrong. It's okay to make a mistake. Just learn from it. Figure out what it was. Be accountable for it. Move forward. That will get you more respect than anything else in the entire world, I have found. It took me a long time to learn that one. So be accountable for your actions. Be accountable for who you are. When you take care of all of this other stuff in the first place, being accountable is easy. It's already there. So that's a good one, Chris. Learn the power of the word no. Part of the master of your emotions is don't let people manipulate you. You're a man. You're allowed to say no. This is a free country. No is an acceptable answer. If you don't want to do it, you don't think it's the right thing to do, no is the only answer. So that's a good one, Chris. Definitely. Learn the power of that word. It is very important. So with that, life is going to become enjoyable when you're a good man and take care of things like that. You'll end up with a good group of friends. It'll end up being quality over quantity. Having a few quality friends is far better than having, a whole crap load of flakes that are never going to stand behind you, never going to do anything. I don't have a lot of friends, but those that I have, I can call them right now and they'd be here as soon as they possibly could. And same thing with me for them, and they know it. So that's a part of life. So, enjoy it. Don't be scared to enjoy it. When you work hard, you're on your purpose and you're doing something, reward yourself. Go on a vacation. Go take a trip. Be like me, buy a motorcycle. They're fun. So, there's more to life. Don't be scared to go out and live it. Be happy, have fun. Personally, I'm a motorcycle guy. I've got a few of them downstairs, and every chance I get, that's my reward. Nice weekend comes up. I put in a good hard week's work. I get on that thing. I take off to the mountains and I go for a hike, relax, take my dog with me. She rides with me on the motorcycle everywhere we go. So you'll see some of that recorded content when it comes out. So that's my plan, is I'm going to start dropping at least one, maybe 2 videos a week. Plus this podcast is going to go on every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to go with this kind of like this and build it up. Anyhow, I'm like I said, I'm new at this, so I've started a Patreon to help out, support the show. Would appreciate if you join that. I'm about done with my basic points here. Probably got a couple more I can pop on, but let's drop a link here in the chat as well, and we can do a call in if anybody wants to call in. There we go. So, it's really hard in today's world. Like, I watch a lot of this stuff. Young guys don't know where to go. Not a lot of direction. Most of society is filled with weak men, and you don't have to be. Be proud. Be proud to be a strong man, and strong in your convictions and strong in your beliefs. It's okay. In fact, it's not only okay, it's admirable. The world needs more of that. We have far too many weak men. What the hell is the old saying goes, is good times make weak men create bad times make strong men. We need some strong men. So stand up, be a good man, and don't be scared to let your balls drop. Be a man. Like Chris said, say no. Have your convictions, have your qualities, and stand behind them. So appreciate the comments and the support, guys. Yeah, that's that's a very good point, Ernesto. Don't let pop culture dictate your definition of a man. If you've ever spent any time around some older guys, you'll quickly realize that pop culture's definition of a man is complete horseshit. So in 30 years of trucking, I didn't haul groceries. I hauled specialized freight, really big, ugly stuff. So I dealt with a lot of pilot cars and stuff like that. And a lot of those guys were old retired. former military guys. You spend some time around some 70, 80-year-old vets, been through the Korean War. Good friend of mine, Lawrence, he was in Vietnam for a bunch of years. Those are men. They will teach you some life lessons. They'll teach you what it's like to be a man. They suffer no crap from nobody, let me tell you. And that will teach you that modern day pop culture's definition of a man is a pure joke. So, yeah. Yes, that's a good one there too, Chris. Chase excellence and don't let relationships dictate your life's direction and purpose. Absolutely. It goes back to the focus on yourself. As a man, you should have, you should be your own mental point of origin. Don't focus on women and everything else, because you need to take care of you. And if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not focused on yourself, how are you going to take care of a relationship? How are you going to get married and take care of a family if you can't take care of yourself? So it's the old thing with the, like I said before, the self-reliance and taking care of yourself. Some people may not know this, but your heart actually has its own bypass in it. And when it does a pump of blood, the very first thing it does is it takes a percentage of that blood and recirculates it back around through the heart to feed the heart. Take a lesson from that. The main organ in your body knows that it needs to put a tax on what is pumping in order to support itself. Because if it can't support itself, it can't support the rest of you. So make sure you do the same thing with yourself. You take care of yourself first. Because if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anything. And you're useless. That's number one. So that is a very important thing. So, yeah. We got a caller here. I'll bring him in. He's asked a very good question. I'm going to get him to ask that in person. How are you doing, Hong?
I'm doing good. Sorry I'm late. I just got off a call and I was like, oh man,
No problem.
it wasn't going too well. I could have pushed a little bit more. It was work related, but I just decided to cut it short because I wanted to hop on. I wanted to come on your first live stream.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much. By the way, for those that don't know, my friend Hong here, he just competed in his first MMA match last weekend and he won. So congratulations to him. Way to go. Proud of you, buddy. So you've got a very good question in the chat. I'd like you to ask that one, actually.
Yeah. So my question is, do you have any non-negotiable when it comes to selecting male friends? I don't really believe in having female friends unless it's with benefits, to be honest, at this stage in my life where I'm at. But when it comes to male friends, I found that throughout my life, I've tried to come up with criterias.
Yeah.
And I always felt that I fell short, and I always had to adjust them and all. So I want to get your take on it because you have I feel as though that you have more experience in this department.
Yeah. So my my non-negotiables when it comes to selecting friends are my big ones: the integrity, responsibility, and accountability. If somebody doesn't have that, I don't need them in my life, right? Like I said, we all make mistakes. I make mistakes every day of my life. Try to keep them small, and I certainly try to learn from them. Friends that or guys that make mistakes and won't own up to them, don't take accountability for them, got a hard time with that. It's that's pretty much a non-negotiable for me. Another one is flaking. Say what you mean and mean what you say. So if you can't tell me what you actually mean and stand behind what you say, I don't have a lot of time for that either. It's those are pretty simple things. They're important to me. When I make a commitment to a friend, he asks me to do something, handle a problem for him or something like that, I do my best to make sure that I see it through to the absolute best of my ability. And I kind of expect the same in return. Quality people do that. they say what they mean what they say.
Mhm.
So I guess those would be some good ones. How about yourself?
You know, well, definitely some like at this point, this is the best I could come up with, right?
Okay.
So I want somebody who is out there, I hate to rip it off, but Richard's term, chasing excellence,
Yes.
In whatever area that might be, in your career and finances or whatever, or having some sort of purpose and really going for it. I like people who are in shape,
Mm-hmm.
and who are working toward, or at least who are working towards that.
Yes.
And of course, their finances as well. I like to see that to be in shape as well. And of course, like the three things that you mentioned: honesty, integrity, responsibility. That for me is I guess that would be like the foundation, and then on top of it, I would add the things that I just mentioned. And I definitely want, ideally, I want to be surrounded by men, real men. So men who, like you say, they're able to say what they say and mean what they say, kind of thing, right? And also, like they have a direction, a purpose in life.
Mm-hmm.
They're not afraid to stand up for themselves, right? And
Yeah.
for things that they believe in. And I feel as though I like it if they have some kind of combat skills at this point, because I'm really into that, and I believe that a man should be able to handle himself.
I agree.
Or at least I have to know that, like, he's got my back and I have his back if something were to happen to us, because we're out in a restaurant, in a bar, having a drink, and things go down. He's not just gonna run away and leave me stranded.
That's right.
And yeah, and of course he'd have to be working towards his finances, towards his goal, towards his purpose. He has to be half decent with women as well. I feel as though people who are not good with women tend to. You ever had that friend or that experience where he's your best friend, but he doesn't have a girlfriend? As soon as he finds a girl, he gets one-nitis, and next thing you know, you don't see this guy anymore.
Yeah.
And you're like, what happened? We were bros, and now you're brushing me off because you got to spend time. Like, that to me is very weak, so it doesn't represent strength at all. And here's the thing. Oh, you see it right there. Steph, hey, Steph, how's it going? Drug addiction. I want to get your take on this because I have a friend who likes his, like, he used to smoke, marijuana, right?
Yep.
And now he's more, I'll just take some edibles and all that. But I kind of have issues with that because I feel as though it demonstrates everything else about him is good. He tends to change his mind a lot, and flakes here and there. But for the most part, he's pretty solid, I feel. But something bothers me about the fact that he has to consume edibles sometimes to relax.
Yeah.
I feel it's even more damaging than alcohol,
Yeah.
And it could be argued that alcohol is also a drug because it alters you in a way in your state. But I feel as though, man, like anything like drugs that really affect your brain and change it to that point, like I don't think it's healthy, man. So I don't. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, certainly harder drugs, definitely. Yeah. No, I'm not somebody who's addicted to drugs. Definitely not. I do have some friends that smoke marijuana occasionally, and but they're not hardcore or addicted or anything like that. And if that's something they choose to do, that's their choice. It's not necessarily what I prefer to do. I do have an occasional drink every now and then, but I don't. It's very rare I get drunk anymore. I'm with you on that. That alcohol is definitely a drug. Can be anyhow. So that's a good one to be addicted to, Ernesto.
Oh, yeah.
Addicted to success, then you are my kind of person. You're my kind of friend. Yeah. Yeah, that goes along with the, just the strength of character, right? Strength of character in a friend, like conviction. You know, I don't need a friend that agrees with everything that I say and do. In fact, I prefer somebody who doesn't agree. occasionally that has the conviction to stand up and say, look, you're my friend. I like you, but I don't agree with this. I think you're wrong and I can't support you on it. Because if you surround yourself with nothing but yes men, before long, you're going to lose your way because you're going to be focused on this and nobody's going to tell you you're going the wrong direction because everybody's telling you yes. So having somebody tell you no occasionally is a good thing to have in your life. So, strong friends, strong in their convictions. Like you said, healthy, fit, active. I used to be a fat guy. Like I've got some pictures I'll maybe show them eventually in the future, but I used to be a very fat guy. Like 7 years ago, there was no hiking to the top of a mountain. It was a hike to get to the buffet line. So, my friends have to be active and willing to do things, go be men essentially. Whatever that is. I like to occasionally go shooting, I go hiking and ride motorcycles all the time, that sort of stuff. Work on my motorcycle, work on cars. Those are the kinds of things that I look for in a guy. And like you said, somebody who has his shit together, his finances together, all that sort of stuff. It was Andrew Tate who said, you can't be a weak man and be my friend. And I agree with him on that one, because if something was to go wrong and my friend is there, I expect him to have my back and I'll have his. So I'm with you on that one. As you know, where I live, it's hard to take any combat skills. I live in a very small town. There's not a whole lot here, but I do what I can. I work out 5 days a week and I'm in pretty good shape, can take care of myself, but no formal training. We'll get together on that and figure some stuff out with that.
Yeah, definitely. And, I've been thinking about that as well. And, about where you're at and eventually building out some kind of course so that people can work out from home and at least have a solid foundation so that, when they do have the opportunity to train, they're not like completely novice, right?
Yep, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Excellent. Thank you very much. Good question, Hung. Appreciate it very much. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Great. All right. We got Mr. Chris Amy in the house. How's it going, brother?
Good. How are you today, brother?
Pretty good, thanks.
Excellent. I just wanted to stop in and say hello and say you're doing a hell of a great job and making some amazing points, man. This is, I think, what's very needed, especially for the next generation, which is behind me a little shy. Like it's, yeah, man. I think you're gonna go far in this. I really do, man.
Thanks.
There's a guy. No, man.
Excellent.
Good show, bud. Good show.
Excellent. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah. Well, you work in a hard industry, and you're surrounded by guys who are men all the time, right? So
yeah, you'd be surprised though. Some of the employees, man, like just great guys. Happy life, happy wife applies, I guess you'd say.
Funny, that one doesn't usually work out. No. That's the strength of conviction. Take care of yourself first. People forget that one.
That's exactly it, man.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. Important quality. You can't keep somebody else happy if you can't even make yourself happy. And in all reality, you can't make anybody happy anyhow. So the only person that you can make happy is yourself. So you have to take care of that first.
Man in the mirror, man.
Absolutely.
Put on your own. If you're crashing an airplane, you put your own oxygen mask on first.
Yeah.
Don't be used to people if you're fucking dead.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, those are the good qualities. When you stand there in the morning and you're shaving and brushing your teeth, the guy you're looking back at in the mirror, can you face that guy, hold eye contact, and think to yourself, that's a good man. I like him and I'm proud of him.
You know what, dude? You know my story, and
I do.
4 years ago, I couldn't do that. I could not face myself. I literally could not face myself in the mirror, and it's taken me a lot of deep mental work, fixing a lot of my own shit. Pardon my French. I'm sorry. I shouldn't swear. And just being accountable and just honestly surrounding myself with good guys like yourself and some of the other guys in the community. And I want to thank you for that.
No problem. Thank you as well.
Right on, brother.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent point. That's the taking care of yourself, right? You know, if you realize you have the problem, you have to take care of yourself. Mental health is just as important as your physical health. So,
Absolutely.
you know, take yourself seriously and take care of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. That's number one.
Absolutely. What else? Anything else on there on my list that I didn't cover that you would throw on there?
No, just as I say, the power of saying no and not worrying about disappointing people or having the demons in your own head, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And shame. Shame is a big killer, literally, for guys.
Yes, yes.
You know, if you're not man enough or man up, a lot of people can put that in your head, and if you don't have a strong frame and a strong backbone, that can really take you down a rabbit hole, and it can lead a lot of guys to checking out.
Yep.
But, yeah, it's yeah, we can chat about that another time.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, brother.
So, what about for guys, for young guys trying to learn a skill? You know, you run a business. You run a business that's actually probably struggling to get young guys. How about some advice for some young guys that who maybe haven't thought of it? Working the trades and the stuff like that. Like,
Don't sorry, bud. Don't be afraid to get dirt under your fingernails. Don't buy into the notion of the ivory tower, and that they're better than you. Frankly, in my trade, you can make as much, if not more, than a very well paid surgeon if you're good at what you do.
Yep.
Unfortunately, though, it does mean that you are extremely hard on your body. But be prepared. Just be prepared to shut your mouth and don't think you know it all. I mean, to be blunt, I'm 42 next week, and I don't know it all. Always be willing to learn
every day.
and just get out of bed every day with a good attitude. I just tell the guys, like, I've got a 19-year-old young fella that he came in, great work ethic, and zero experience, but he had the desire to learn. I said, you know what? If you're willing to learn, I'm willing to teach, and paying him really well, full benefits, and he'll climb up, and he'll be again getting paid similar to a surgeon.
There you go.
And just we'll touch base on that. I mean, that's a whole other topic, but a lot of people, again, that ivory tower analogy with the some people look down on it, I guess you'd say.
Yep.
And well, there might be easier ways to make money, but just get out of bed and find a guy that's willing to teach, and just be a willing student, and shut your mouth and listen, and don't be afraid to put in the reps before you. Don't expect to own the business before you sweep the floor.
Right.
And be willing to learn. But no. On a brighter note.
Yep. No, that's a good one. Learn every day. You know, you're, like you said yourself. You're in your 40s and you're still learning. I'm older than you are, and I'm still learning. I still make my mistakes every single day. And same thing in the trades. I was a truck driver. Drove truck for 30 years. I made very good money doing that. It's hard work. Gone a lot of hours, but it's you can make some good money. Like Ernesto says, show up every day with a heart and an eagerness to learn. Stay off the damn phone.
Absolutely. Bingo.
It's that's the focus on yourself, right? When you're focused on the phone, you're not your mental point of origin.
Nope.
You're focused on what everybody else is doing and making sure that you got your light count up and all that kind of crap. So,
and I'll be the first to admit, man, I've got that addiction. First thing I do in the morning, pick this stupid thing up.
Yeah.
That's what I care.
they know how to program them for that. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
But yeah, no, just want to hop in and say great show, and I'm looking forward to the future with you, man.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks. Have a good day.
You too, man.
Yeah, that's a good one, Ernesto. Don't be scared to find a good teacher and good mentors. Finding good mentors will take you a long way, save you a lot of pain and suffering and a lot of mistakes. Like I said early on, you can't live long enough to make them all yourself. So try to learn from somebody else's. It's one thing about being an older guy is once you've made some mistakes, you've learned from them. And young guys come and ask you some things, you realize it's beneficial to help them out. You know, it feels good. So don't be scared to ask them, because most of them are willing to do it. Most guys are willing to teach a guy a thing or two. Like Chris said, you know, he works in a hard industry. It's hard work. You're going to get some dirt under your fingernails, you know, get a break of sweat. But at the end of the day, when you're done, you've built something. You can see it. There's a lot of pride in that. So I guess that's one thing I didn't put on there is be proud of what you do. You know, when you accomplish something and you accomplish learning a new skill, you set a goal and you accomplish it. Take pride in that. Don't let anybody knock you down. Hate comes from beneath. You know, it never comes from above. So anybody that's hating on you or trying to bring you down, it's because they're below and they're trying to bring you down. Nobody above you is going to try to bring you down. They're going to try to pull you up. So, you know, find those that are willing to pull up and grab hold and pull for all you're worth and get yourself up there too. Because that's what they want. They want to see you succeed. So the world is better when we all succeed. So think about that. Anyhow, well, I think I'm probably about running out of things to say here for tonight. So thanks a lot for joining. Appreciate it very much. Like I said, I've got my my Patreon set up there. If you support the show, be a channel member. Appreciate that. And yeah, like Chris Amy said, he started a business 10 years ago with $238. So if he can do it, anybody else can. You just have to be willing to learn. Got to be willing to do the work. That's consistency. I guarantee you, Chris got his ass out of bed every day, went to work every day, learned his craft, became good at it. Very good at it. Started a business. So you have to be good at it if you're going to start a business and people are going to hire you and trust you. You have to have all of those qualities. You know, you have to have integrity, accountability, respect, you know, honorability, all of that stuff. You have to have that or people aren't going to do business with you. You won't be around for very long. He's been doing it for 10 years. Does well for himself. So anyhow, caller here. Hey, Ronnie, you're muted.
Hey man, how's it going?
Pretty good yourself.
Doing fine myself. Staying on the grind, just like you know.
I do.
Yeah, man. I just want to add one thing.
Sure.
You said like take care of yourself, and the second thing is that think outside of the box. How and what can you serve the other guys? How can you better yourself while helping others as well? So I just want to add that one line. So.
Very good. Appreciate that. Yeah. You are right on that. That's the misconception that everybody has. There never was a box.
Yeah.
So I get what he says. Well, you need to learn to think outside the box. There never was a box.
There was never a box. Yeah. I mean, the kings built on something, right? They thought outside of the box. So that's where they built the kingdoms.
Absolutely.
The guys who didn't think outside of the box, they were serving that king. So, you know.
That's right.
So, yeah, I just want to add that, man. I'm listening for the past like 1 hour, so it's really
Thanks,
good,
buddy.
man.
All right.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Take care.
You too.
Yeah.
Bye. All right. So like I said, I think I'm kind of running out of things to say and winding down. I don't think I'm the right guy to do that. I'm not exactly a great welder. Uh, I can kind of do it, but I am definitely not on the quality department there. So, but that's not a bad thing. Learn a skill, become good at it. If you're going to put yourself through the stuff of trying to learn something, take the time to learn it right. Take some pride in it, and doesn't matter what it is. You probably can learn how to do it. Yeah, that's a very good one. Realize that you're going to go from being a young guy to an older guy much quicker than you realize. Be productive with your time. That's absolutely correct. Yeah. You've only got so much time, and when it's gone, it's gone. When those sands go through the hourglass, they don't come back up the other way. So, make sure you make the most of it. Be on your journey, on your destination, whatever it is. So be focused on that. We've got another caller here.
Hello, Bentley.
How's it going? How do we say that? Is it Ducks or is it Dukes?
Oh, yes, sir. It's just Ducks. So basically, something like that.
How
How are you doing
tonight?
today? How do you feel about your first live?
Pretty good.
Nice,
Pretty good.
nice. I'm glad. I'm just here to support you. I also have one question regarding some business stuff. But first things first. Congrats on your first live.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I would say, I think you said this yesterday. Until you get 50, it's pretty shitty. So 49 more to go, but one done.
Yep. Yeah. They say, I've heard that many times that, your 50th video will be good. Your first ones will suck. So this is my first pile of dog crap.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not a good, pretty good quality of dog crap. So moving on. When you started your trucking company, how did you conduct effective market research? So how do you identify the needs of the customer? How did that? Could you tell us the story of your method?
Well, I'd love to tell you I had this great, 50-page business plan and stuff like that. But the truth is I was a young, dumb, full of ambition guy. And I just went and bought a truck. I was driving truck at the time. So I knew that it was an in-demand thing. I mean, all you have to do is just look at your packaging. Pretty much everything that you buy doesn't say made in your hometown. It's made somewhere else. There's a saying in the trucking community that is pretty common is the only two things not delivered by a truck is the sunshine and a baby. Everything else is delivered by a truck. God takes care of the sunshine and the doctor takes care of the baby. We take care of the rest. So, that's an industry that's pretty much always going to need something of some kind. So that was what it was. I just bought a truck and went to work and just about lost my ass more than a few times. So it was that was the consistency. That was the stick with it. I had a goal and I wanted to accomplish it. Part of it was my grandpa loaned me the money for part of the down payment for my first truck to get going. And I wanted to make him proud and make sure that I fulfilled my commitment. So we had a deal. He gave me X amount of dollars. I had 2 years to pay it back. So the proudest moment of my life was when I handed that man the 16th check. Because that was the last one. I paid it off early.
Oh, nice.
I sacrificed a lot to do that. I worked my ass off. Like I said, over time, ups and downs, had good times doing it, had bad times. When it gets tough, that's where you rely on your knowledge. It's where you rely on your skill. You do things the right way and make sacrifices. That is the whole sacrifice thing. Self-reliant guy. I drove a truck for 30 years. There's a few strange stats. So I drove a truck for 30 years. It's it's over 3.5 million miles.
Oh, wow.
If you figure that out, I've drove to the moon and back about 7 times. Not there and back about 7 times. I got a truck downstairs here in the shop right now that has 1 million miles on it.
Wow.
That's the third truck that I've had with 1 million miles on it. Plus the ones that I drove before the ones I owned.
So interesting. So
things go wrong. Things break down. That's just a fact. If you're going to drive a machine that long, things are going to break, and you got to figure out how to get yourself off the road. You got to figure out, get yourself out of traffic, stuff like that. I've changed injectors in the parking lot in Las Vegas of a truck stop. I fixed flat tires on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere in Texas, and changed a differential in on a side street in an industrial park in Indianapolis, Indiana. I have some stories. We'll get into those. I have done some things that would make most people go, "What did you do?" I've had a lot of fun. I was good at what I did, and I did a lot of things that were probably somewhat questionable, but I did them with a lot of knowledge as well. It's not they were questionable, and I wouldn't tell somebody who's new at it to go and do it, but I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was in for. I knew how to take care of it. But yeah, it's
so it also connects back to what Richard had taught us in the business school, is that pivot, but in your scale is like being very resilient to any kind of situation that does come in. Just that resiliency and robustness led to you building like more and more success within the trucking business.
Yeah. Resilience is, I didn't have that one. That's a very good one. Yeah. Resilience is an excellent quality to have, because life's going to happen. Things are going to go wrong, and you're going to need to push through. Resilience is a good trait for sure.
But it's also interesting where the first question about was how did you effectively conduct market research, but the sort from listening to the story that you have shared, it seems like there was certain element of luck involved, where you saw the market of the need for the trucking. You might not have exactly conducted the market research for that need, but you just bought a truck and went with the intuition that you have, and it worked out in that case. Would you agree?
There was definitely, everything in life, there is some luck involved, but I'm a firm believer in you make your luck too. If you work hard and you have the conviction and the consistency and you stay at it, you can create a lot of your own luck and get through. And like you were talking before, the pivot thing, my initial research was, I want to buy a truck. I don't want to drive somebody else's. I want to make some money for myself, because I realized I was good at it, and I wasn't breaking things when other guys were breaking things. And I knew how to drive and get good fuel mileage, so I could keep some of that money in my pocket. When I was doing that for somebody else, he was pocketing the money. I wasn't.
Right.
So I looked at that and went, I want that money because I know I'm saving it for him. So I want to make it for myself. So that's what I did. And for pivoting, as I went along, I realized there were different aspects or different segments in the industry where there was more money. And I realized that I had the skill set for it and the knowledge and understanding of how to do the job. So I pivoted towards those. My first job was hauling grain and fertilizer. I pulled dry vans for about 6 months, 8 months, something like that. Not very long. It's not my segment of the industry. I'm just not very good at that. I don't have the patience and the tolerance for warehouses saying, sit over there. Your appointment's at 3:00. It's 3:00. Yeah, we'll get to you in a couple of hours. No, it doesn't work for me. So I went into flat decks and stuff like that, where I was more in control of what I was doing. And then from there, I moved into heavy equipment and multi-axle heavy hull. And, it was just, I understand the physics of how all of that worked. So where most guys looked at it and went, not quite sure how to do that. I looked at it and went, oh, well, you can do this and this, and you'll actually do it better. And so that's where I moved. That was the stuff that I did.
Oh, nice. So even if you didn't have a clear roadmap from the start, you just started, and from the experience that you gathered by one day, you kind of had a roadmap cleared out, like as you go through the experience.
Absolutely.
I think that's a very, very worthy story to share for young entrepreneurs who are just starting their own business in their own lane. For example, I'm very hugely passionate about in the content creation industry, or
yes.
What's the terminology that creator economy?
Yes.
I do have a blurry line of a roadmap that I want to take, but it's not exactly clear to me. But from your story, what I got was, even if I don't have the clear exact line in the long term, I do have clear short-term plans. And if I execute those short-term plans clearly, sorry about that, and with precision, the other chapters will naturally just reveal itself naturally.
Yes, absolutely. That's correct. Yeah, I mean, you can lay out the best plan you want. Like I said, I hung out with a lot of guys that were former military, and it was funny listening to them talk about battle plans. They go into a detailed battle plan. This is how we're going to do things. They said, they would literally practice it. You knew exactly, you're going to take 2 steps forward and 1 step lateral, and you're going to do this, and this guy's going to hand me that. You've got it all planned. You've executed it. It's the perfect synchronized swimming event or figure skating event, whatever you want to call it. You're ready to go. And the second that first shot is fired, you just take that plan, throw it away, and wing it. So, yeah, that's, having at least somewhat of an overall idea, but get in and go. And like I've been looking at this, trying to create something for a little while, and finally it was like, just go, just do it. Like I said, in my community that I'm involved in, a lot of the young guys keep asking me for advice, and I just thought, well, I'm getting asked for this all the time. I'm not bad at it, so let's do it. Hence the reason for the title of this show. What is a man? In order to give men advice, I got to start by defining what I consider the good qualities of a man, and from there we can move into the things that they want. So hopefully we'll get some comments and some questions, and guys will ask some things, and I'll have a direction to start moving towards. But in the meantime, I'm going that way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, that was a question that I had for today. And again, congratulations for the first live, Bentley.
Thank you.
49 more to go. And thank you so much for sharing your story.
Excellent. Have a great night. All right. So with that, yeah, that is a good one, Ernesto. Definitely learn to listen to your gut. Develop that intuition, because it's an instinct that's deep inside of you. It knows something is going on, and it's going to keep you out of trouble. So it's learning to listen to that, figure it out. It's going to take you good direction where you want to go. Not listening to it's probably going to lead you to trouble. Been there and done that a bunch. So anyhow, like I say, that's kind of about what I have for the night. It's a good one there, Steph, as well. Your focus will determine your outcome. Exactly. If you're not focused, your outcome is not going to be very good. So focus on it. Figure out what it is and go for it with conviction. 100%. Don't let anybody tell you no, because the only person who can tell you no is yourself. Learn the power of the word. But if you can do it and you tell yourself you can do it, get your ass out there and go and do it. I never thought in 100 years when I first started doing what I did that I would do the things that I did driving truck. Hauled 150,000 pound machines, drove across the ice. Literally, I've been to every province in every state and every territory in North America. So if you're watching this in North America at some point in time in the last 30 years, I've been within 50 miles of you. Guarantee it. Because I've literally been everywhere. I never thought that would happen. A kid who grew up on a farm in the middle of nowhere, literally. Like our closest neighbor was 2.5 miles away. So put your mind to it. You'll accomplish an awful lot more than you ever thought was possible. Keep that in mind. So with that, be good to yourself, be good to each other. Like I say, do me a favor, drop a like and a subscribe. Share this with some friends if it gives give them any information or you think they could use it. Appreciate it. And we appreciate if you join the channel and help me out. A little support would be great. So that's I guess that's probably about it for me. So once again, this is Bentley James for the Hammercast. Have yourself a great night.